I'm State Representative John Kavanaugh, and this is another edition of Kavanaugh's Corner. This one is a legislative update on the week of March 28th. Good news is I've had my first bill signed into law by the governor, and that is the HOA artificial grass bill. I was approached by a woman who lived in an HOA who had installed beautiful artificial grass, and her HOA came after her and was suing her and fining her to get rid of it, which made no sense because high quality artificial grass looks better than real grass, especially in July in Arizona, and it uses zero water. So she asked me to run a bill, and I ran a reasonable bill. It simply says if your HOA allows natural grass, then any area on the property where natural grass is allowed, they must allow artificial grass. And I also gave the HOAs aesthetic control. So you have to submit a sample so that it looks like nice real grass as opposed to something that some cheap miniature golf course would install. And if years down the road it discolors, you would have to either replace it with new artificial grass or go back to natural grass or whatever you had there. So the governor signed that into law. I was very pleased. We also had a major breakthrough on a bill that would prevent insurance companies in homeowners insurance policies from unfairly and unjustifiably charging people who have specific dog breeds more on the grounds that these dogs are more dangerous. There is no actuarial basis that any particular breed is more dangerous. In addition, we have no idea how many dogs of each breed are in existence. So even if you knew that X breed had so many bites reported and Y breed had so many, without knowing the total numbers of each breed, you couldn't figure out the percentage that were biting. So how can you say one is more dangerous than the other? Beyond that, very few dogs are purebred. If you had a DNA analysis of most dogs, you would discover that they're almost all mixed breeds, much like human beings are if you ever did the DNA analysis of yourself. And of course, in addition to that, experts like vets and animal control people often can't classify these dog breeds. They make mistakes. So for all of those reasons, there is no actuarial basis to charge more for any particular breed. My bill recognizes that and says until such time as you can gather that data, well, then you're not going to be able to do discrimination. We also had a major advance in a bill which I'm helping Representative Amish Shaw with, which would ban the dechlawing of cats, except when medically necessary for the cat. Dechlawing is mutilation. It's not damaging a nail bed in a human, say, where the nails wouldn't grow. It's literally cutting off the first digit part of the cat's paw. Again, unnecessary mutilation. And I say unnecessary because people claim, well, maybe somebody with hemophilia or a bleeding condition would need to get rid of the cat's claws. Well, in reality, the CDC and the Hemophilia Foundation, they all agree that when you declaw a cat, there's a greater chance of blood being drawn because the cat suddenly becomes more prone to biting, and cat bites are much more able to draw blood than scratching. You know, the proper thing to do, quite frankly, is to file the cat's claws so they aren't that sharp, and you know, don't do anything to agitate your cat, or don't get a cat. You know, get a dog. Dogs are nice too. So that's the progress report on my bills thus far. All the committee hearings have ended, so things are slowing down at the legislature. We'll be putting bills to the floor rather slowly as we go about the major job that we do each year, which is to construct the budget. And I'm one of the major players as Vice Chair of Appropriations in the House. I meet with myself and 3 members of the House, meet with like representatives of the Senate and people from the governor's office as we slowly try to get the parameters and major amounts for different categories. And then when we meet with members and try to get their particular wants, needs, and asks taken care of. Not to get back to my animal bill, but it's a process much like herding cats. So we'll be doing that probably for the next month or 2, maybe more, who knows. But that's my report for this week, and I'll update you again at Kavanaugh's Corner next week. I'm State Representative John Kavanaugh.